Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I'm Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So I'm going to make a set of videos now about math interview questions, and there have been some requests to me on the YouTube channel and from elsewhere to make a set of videos like this. Now in this set of videos what I'm going to do is I'm going to give 10 questions. First I'm going to define the questions, then I'm going to give the solutions. So this is going to be useful to a large number of people because the questions which I'm going to propose and solve, these are widely used in various different interviews and so on. So let us discuss 10 possibilities where these kind of questions may be useful to you. Now, of course, you know that math is something very important for STEM majors, that is science, technology, engineering, and math. But math is also nowadays becoming important to anybody studying the social sciences and even the humanities, because what has happened is that a lot of mathematics has penetrated into fields such as economics and finance, for example. Even in sociology, psychology, you can use math models, and certainly I will say that the growth of the language models as far as AI is concerned is also going to increase the penetration of mathematics into the humanities communities. So this is something you need to keep in mind. Now, of course, do remember that the questions I'm going to formulate are mostly at the level of what you have at the end of a typical high school curriculum, which is class 12 or grade 12 in many countries. In some countries, it is known as a senior in the high school system or the A level. So the number one benefit of these questions is going to be to people preparing for various college and university admission interviews. And whether these interviews are at the bachelor's level, the master's level, the PhD level, or at the postdoc level, very often beside the domain knowledge, the professors and teachers are often going to ask you some basic math question to verify that you know some elementary mathematics. So this is going to be useful to you. Number two is various college teacher examinations, and especially if you are somebody preparing for an examination in terms of mathematics, either you want to be a teacher in a college or even in a high school, then various math questions are going to be asked to you. This is not only for math teachers, but even for anybody trying to teach science. So that's something to keep in mind. Number three is STEM intern interviews. And very often what happens during the internship process, that if you are a bachelor's or master's degree guy trying to get an internship, then you are going to be asked some questions. This interview may be set up in Zoom, for example, or Team, and they are often going to ask you questions about the domain you are working on, maybe physics, maybe business, maybe psychology, maybe mathematics itself, and then they may ask you some math questions here. So that's something which is often the make or break in a typical STEM interview system. Now the number fourth point has to do with the various STEM jobs which are out there. And increasingly in any type of STEM jobs, the interviewer is not only going to ask you questions about what is your background, why you're going to work in the company, what is your long-term plan, and ask you some domain questions, but they may ask you some basic mathematics questions. So this is something which is very important. It can again make or break the particular interview. If you're not able to ask some elementary math questions, then the interview is not going to proceed further to the next stage. The next point, number five, is written test for admissions to various colleges. And of course, you know there are world famous exams out there to get you admission into various institutes of technology, science universities, and so on. But not only these colleges, but also many normal colleges are out there which conduct their own entrance examination, and they always like to give some questions in basic mathematics. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the sixth point is high school preparation, and whether you are somebody who is preparing for class 12 exams, you are in the CBSE board, the ISC board, the IB board, the A level in the US system, in the high schools given by the different state, and so on, or in the European system, you are going to benefit from this set of questions. Finally, number seven point has to do with self-study. So there are a plethora of people who simply want to study math. For example, there are people out there who may have missed math in their high school curriculum. Maybe you want to review some basic math because you feel that will certainly help you mentally. Math is one of the best ways to get peace. So some people choose meditation, some people choose math. Number eight point has to do with the textbooks and so on. So these question sets I'm going to propose to you, they are simply questions and answers. I'm going to try to explain in each solution how I have obtained the solution, but do remember This is not the replacement for a typical textbook. So you should always have a textbook, or you should buy a textbook or a reference book to go along with these particular videos. Now, if you are somebody who is interested in verifying the solutions, you can always turn to some tools. For example, there is Symbolab and there is Wolfram Alpha. There is also Mathematica, there is MATLAB, and so on. So these are different ways in which you can further check the solutions which I am providing. Of course, do keep in mind that if you find any solution to be wrong, then you can immediately comment on the video and I will of course try to address that particular issue, though I myself am also verifying the veracity of every solution through one of these tools such as Symbolab and so on. And finally, point number 10 is that if you find any particular questions out there, maybe they have been asked in the math Olympiads or somewhere else which you feel I should address, then you can put it in the comment section. And if you find I am not addressing certain issues are too complex, then you can also put them in the comment section. So I'm certainly going to begin this series. So I'm going to start with Q&A 1 and then continue with Q&A 2, 3, 4 and so on. And let's see how far it goes as far as this Math Mania playlist is concerned.